Mississippi Geological Survey in Mississippi, similar to what Ed works with in Arkansas. And I got the opportunity to drill the core lignite resources in Mississippi. That interest comes from having worked with the Mississippi Geological Survey in Mississippi, similar to what Ed works with in Arkansas. And I got the opportunity to drill the core lignite resources in Mississippi back in the 1970s or so. Later, there was a power plant and mine developed in Mississippi, as you saw on the slides, that has really been a boon to the economics of that area around Akron. Fortunately, I also had the opportunity to come to Louisiana in 1977 and develop the first commercial lignite mine and power plant in Louisiana. And I've also worked at some of the projects in Texas at some of those mine sites. What I just wanted to do briefly was the gentleman asked about how long it might take to develop a project like this. These are large projects, and typically a large mining project will take about 10 years or more to develop. So just to give you a real life example, we started work on I did, on the Louisiana lignite project in 1977, about July 5th, as a matter of fact. And we produced first coal in November of '85. So roughly 10 years or so. And that power plant went online commercially right after the beginning of 1986, still produces coal, mines coal today and produces electricity at a low cost. What you're looking at here is a vast step up on improving the use of this resource. Burning lignite to produce power is really a shameful waste of that resource. You can do so much more with it if you liquefy it or gasify it and produce all this stream of chemicals and various products that then can be used by other industries that can move into your state and develop more jobs and more resources. But just speaking from our development of the project that we had in DeSoto Parish, questions asked about environmental concerns that maybe ADEQ might have had. And I was glad to hear the comment that they didn't really have an objection to mining. I live in Shreveport. There's a lot of geologists in Shreveport. That mine has been going 30 miles south of Shreveport since 1985. There are geologists that don't even know that mine's there. Now that tells you what the average citizen might know about that mine. It's a non-event as far as environmental concerns, environmental impacts. You're welcome to visit that mine. They'll be glad to have you visit there, just like Sabine does, because there really aren't any environmental consequences of that mine. I've taken landowners who were timber growers like some of you are out on their mine land after it was mined and planted in trees that were up about knee high. And I remember one gentleman, he was a real hard-caged landowner, very, very tough. And I remember going out with him. He got out of his truck. He didn't say anything out much on the way out there. He got out of his truck. He was shaking his head walking out across the property. And I thought, this is not good. I wonder what in the world he's going to have to say. And finally, he walked out about 100 yards, came back, still shaking his head, kind of looking down, clenching his fist. And he stopped and stared at me. And he said, David, I only have one thing to say about this. And I said, yes, sir. Fearing the worst. He said, I'm sorry I didn't have more land to these two things. He said, as a timber grower, I can't produce timber like this. And he was amazed. And he was very sincere. I mean, knowing that guy and as hard a person as he was, that didn't come easy for him to say that. But that's just a real-life example of what reclamation success can produce. We've taken many people out on that mine, showed them reclaimed land. We were standing on it, and they're asking, where is the reclaimed land? They don't even realize their own land has been reclaimed. And that's how successful you can be. We often have said, in this environment, with the rainfall we have and the soil productivity we have and the long growing season, if you can't grow grass and trees down here, man, you need to do something else. It's a tough industry if you're in that business, of course, but reclamation here is really relatively easy compared to Western U.S. Ed can tell you about his experiences in Western U.S. A bit tougher there to reclaim because of drought conditions. I'm going long and I apologize for that, but someone else asked about how do projects in Louisiana, Mississippi, and Texas get started. The answer to that is pretty easy, private industry. In Texas, there has been lignite mining on a very small scale, properties and homes back in the 1800s. The first really commercial mining got kicked off in the 1950s by Texas Utilities for the production of electric energy, and that electric utility company took that step forward. I work for Central Louisiana Electric Company. Fortunately, our president and the president of Texas Utilities were good friends, and Cleo learned about that technology from that president, and we actually began developing information on lignite resources in Louisiana in the 1950s. But because of economics, it didn't come around to being the right time until the mid-1970s or so when the company got started really in earnest. In Mississippi, it's the same story. It was private industry that took the initiative to develop it, but with one difference. They had a governor there that had a strong, very strong appreciation for what that project could do to the peoples of the state of Mississippi, the revenue it would produce, taxes, severance tax, direct employment, and the benefits of that. That governor stepped forward and put himself on the line because he told the state agencies, this project will happen during my administration. Flat out. It did. But if he hadn't been that strong a governor and that much support, that project would not have happened. It would be very, very difficult to do that. You, as people in Louisiana and Arkansas, what the Representative Smith told you is absolutely the truth. You need to step forward and go beat on your legislator's door. Go talk to the governor. Send him letters, fax him, email him, whatever you want to do, call him, and support the project. I can tell you, this kind of project in DeSoto Parish, Louisiana, took a rural community who had very few jobs. Mainly the jobs were seasonal. You cut pulpwood, or you work in an oil patch, you could get a job, you did a little bit of construction. That was about it. We built, and said I worked with Cleo, Central Louisiana Electric Company, and Structo. We were partners in the development of that project. But they built a $500 million power plant in 1981, about $200 million initial investment in a mine for the equipment, employed 150 people at the power plant, 100 people at the mine, brand new jobs. Those of salary that got brought into that very rural parish and created some really good jobs. The difference is they're also long-term. It meant not only could you get a job, your kids could get a job, their kids can get a job. They don't have to leave and go to somewhere else to be employed, like your grandkids with them. There's even, and now at those projects, children whose parents started working there. So they've already made that first generation leap. Someone talked about the development of mining in the 1970s. There was mining going on in Texas, and Arkansas is way behind. That's absolutely true. Mining was going on in the 1950s. Mining is going on in Louisiana, 2 mines. Third one under development right now. It's going to supply lignite or activated carbon, the largest activated carbon plant in the North American continent. There's only 1 mine operating in Mississippi, but there's a second one being developed right now by Mississippi Power Company.